Hello everyone. Seems like a long time ago since I've last done a live. Yeah, I've not actually been able to get onto Facebook to do a live because, like pretty much everyone I know, I've been restricted, unable to post. I've been unable to post on the page actually for I don't know how long directly. But I'm out of jail for now. So yeah, hello. I hope you're doing well. What to say really? Crazy times. I hope that you're all doing all right. I have to admit, I've had a few days of really feeling anxiety around all of this. Hi Sue. Hope you're good. Yeah, as we see this whole latest narrative playing out, and once again we've got the taking of sides, and I don't want it to be misconstrued. When I say I'm not taking sides, I don't mean that I can't see what a complete and utter pile of bullshit that is playing out in the mainstream media. It's not that at all. What I'm avoiding is getting into that whole polarity again, where it's I stand here and anyone who doesn't, I'm against. We're seeing this whole division playing out again. Like I say, it's not because there's any ignorance of what is happening here. It's very, very obvious that we are absolutely not being given, a shred of truth in the mainstream. We've seen, the things that are being put out there are on another level of ludicrous now. We've seen enough in the last 2 years, but this is, I do keep saying it, like, do they want us to wake up to all of this? Is it intentional? Because it's so blatant, and it's very easy to get sucked into the whole thing and to be scanning the news and look, they've put this nonsense out there now. They have. It needs calling out, but we're in a very precarious situation because we're in the next phase here. This was all predicted, whatever's actually behind it, whatever's actually really going on either side, if there even are sides, it could well be that this is orchestrated by people giving the impression that they're at war, but actually orchestrating this whole thing to further this agenda. Yeah, it's addictive again, to be looking at what's happening, what's the latest thing coming out, what's the latest absolute ridiculous thing that's put out there as supposed truth. Again, it's if we're too distracted by that, we're not going to be putting things in place that serve us, because whatever is happening with this, we've seen fuel prices are through the roof. We've got the talk once again of food shortages and the global supply chain, blah blah blah, all of these things that's been in our consciousness for the past couple of years, and it's here again. It's looking very likely that this is going to be the thing that causes that, and we've seen the mass panic and everything before. Chris, I've just no mention about COVID either. I wonder what exactly, the fact that could just go poof and disappear, and on to the next thing, the fear ramped up another level. It can only wake people up from what I can see, but here we are. And when I say precarious situation, it is that we don't want to be in the situation where we're so absorbed with what's happening here and and people getting into that whole mentality of, you know, maybe the white hats or whatever you want to call them, it's all in hand, it's all being taken care of. I would love to think so, I really would, but we cannot be depending on any saviours here other than ourselves. And so now is the time, as people are thinking, wow, you know, restrictions are over, we don't need to be protesting about anything, we don't really need to be coming together. I would say absolutely the opposite is true, because I do think that this year, and probably next, I mean, who knows, this is going to be the real life changes for a lot of us, where we do actually feel the pinch a lot more. So whereas, you know, we've been able to carry on relatively normally, I think that could be changing fairly soon. So I think, yeah, when I say not taking sides and not being, it means not investing all of that energy into watching this and being distracted. You've got your communities, you know, you've got your tribes, you found your tribes, you found your freedom families, and you know, I would suggest that this really is the time to get things in place, because yeah, we don't know how long it will be before, you know, ration books or things that, you know, that we never thought we would see in our lifetimes. So again, it's not to pump any fear out there. It's always got to be in balance, but I think people will feel, you're going to feel a lot more stable if you've got some things in place. You know, I'm not talking about going full on, you know, foraging and well, great for you if you can do all of that, but you know, just having some things in place and keep the focus on the world that we want to create, because that's what's happening here with all this insane upheaval, and it's going to look really bad. I've said this over and over. It is the end of the old world in that sense, and no, it's absolutely not going to be their new world order, but it is going to be a new world, you know, but it's going to be one that we create. And so that's kind of where I can feel in myself my energy needs to go, because it really gets you down as well, doesn't it? It's when you're looking at all of this and just the outrage at the lies in the mainstream, and we're seeing the usual suspects, you know, supporting the whole narrative. It's infuriating, and it's weakening, you know. So I'm not saying switch off to it all, although, you know, I think certainly for a period of time that can be good, but just to don't let it take every moment from you where you just feel this, oh, where is it, where are we going to end up, how can it possibly end well? You know, it's easy to get into that spiral, but you know, keep gathering, keep meeting each other, keep putting things in place. You've got your support system now, strengthen it. This isn't the time to step back from it and think, well, you know, the COVID nonsense is over. I by no means believe that it is. Actually, I think it can be reintroduced at any time under a different guise. You know, it might have a different slant on it, but you know, I certainly don't think it's the end of it. Chris, hello. It's all about sticking together as unity and help people who might not be as strong and do not comply to this corruption. Yeah, absolutely. We do need to stick together, and, you know, remember how strong you are. If you've managed to get through the last 2 years and you're unjabbed, you know, you've not been complying, my God, you are really, really strong. You're a strong person, you know, and you deserve to give yourself all the credit in the world, because we've been put under such a an intense psychological programming, you know, non-stop for 2 years. So if you've come through that, you know, you're built for this, and you will get through the next phase. Don't doubt yourself. I mean, it is overwhelming. I do think, you know, if I project into the future, my God, you know, food, and what do we do with this, that, and the other? And then I stop and remember all the amazing people that I know, what we've come through together already, what happens when we do get together, just the stuff that's come out of, you know, not just the stands, but everything, every part of this movement. Whenever people get together, yeah, just amazing things happen. We're incredibly creative, but it's easy to get pulled into the fear, is what I'm saying. And I'm speaking from my personal experience in the last week, really. I've just really felt it, because I have been quite absorbed with what's happening, and getting pulled into that that familiar, taking a stance that's quite rigid, and it's easy to start seeing others as, you know, enemy's a bit too strong a word, but, you know, it's us and them once again, which obviously is not going to help any of us. It is all about unity. So whatever's playing out is playing out. You know, peace really does start within. So the peace that we want to see out there, you're not going to even recognize it, really, if you're not feeling it inside. If you can't connect to it within you, it's almost like you're blind to it. So really, it, once again, always about balance, and you can feel it in yourself when you're probably a bit overly focused on the external, and all of this again is dependent on fear for it to succeed. You know, fear of, it's genuine survival fear, you know, that's the ultimate, and that's what they're always pushing for. But we absolutely can do this. We can rely on each other. We can create all kinds of incredible things. We really can. Abundance is our true nature. This is why this feels so awful, because it's actually, it goes completely against everything that is true and that's natural and real. And it's only when we give our power over to them, and we think, oh, you know, they're holding the strings, and we have to jump and dance in order to just physically survive. There's so much more to life than that, and actually things, they don't work that way. They don't actually work that way. Tony, tired, worn out, had enough. I know. I feel the same lately. I really do. Sophie, it's important to take time out from all the BS. It really is, and it's more and more frequently needed now. I've really noticed it's so intense, that it's just do it every day. Actually, every day, just have a little period of time where just gift that to yourself. Switch off the phone, switch off all the devices, you know, do whatever it is, whatever it takes to just get you back to that place where you can actually feel some gratitude. Yep, it's Paula, escape and immerse in nature. Absolutely, even if it's just your garden, anywhere. It just, if you can just sit there and close your eyes and listen to the birds sing, and just, you know, we've been so disconnected and removed from nature, and it really does bring you into balance and into equilibrium. So all of these things are just really important now. So yeah, that's it really. I just wanted to connect again and hope that you're all getting through this, and you know, let's all support each other. This is the time to really strengthen those communities and these connections that we already have. so we don't feel sideswiped when, you know, phase 3000 of however many phases rolls out. We're not completely, we don't have the rug pulled out from under us. So yeah, Terry, should I buy food? Absolutely. Get stocked up. You know, don't panic. We don't want to really freak out and panic, but we also don't want to be burying our heads in the sand. You know, again, balance. So we want to be a bit prepared for sure. But we want to be prepared, you know, on every level. And at the moment, it's fear once again. And the only place we can deal with that is not by people from the outside resolving everything for us. Fear, you know, that's an inside job as well. And you know, you you need to take the time though to be able to process it. And actually what I find really helpful, which it's, you know, it's quite a full-on process, is actually let your mind go there with how bad a scenario could be. Let yourself experience it in your mind and let it pass through you. And it's not that you're thinking, it's not a thought process, but you actually feel this in your body. And actually all of this fear, all of those things are actually, they just manifest as feelings in our bodies, and they can pass through us, they can be released. It's the thoughts that actually torture us. So when you can actually just allow yourself to be in that state, and you know, if you've got the stomach for it, allow it to really, you know, you could really go there in your mind. And can I release this? Could I release this? Yes, you get the answers come, and you can, there are so many ways of just letting it pass through your body. It's only when we cling on to this that it gets worse and worse in our minds, and we can become paralyzed. And that's, again, that's what they depend on, to keep us in that fearful state where we'll literally do anything to survive. The brain kind of, it shuts down in a way, and we're not able to be logical or rational. Yeah, the only thing, Joanne, the only thing we need to fear is fear itself. The ideas are so much worse than the realities. So yeah, that's quite a long one. So thanks for sticking with me. And yeah, I'm sending lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a great weekend. Have a wonderful stand on Sunday, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Peace.